So what happens when you take an industry that's, let's be honest, often misunderstood, but has actually been this quiet pioneer of new tech for ages, and then you smash it together with something totally groundbreaking like NFTs and Web3? Today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, the really profound and frankly surprising ways these two worlds are colliding and, well, revolutionizing the adult industry.
Yeah, and that's our mission today, really, to unpack what's actually happening on the ground. We're drawing heavily from a paper called Unlocking Adult Industry NFTs. It's by Pollyanny, written alongside her talk for NFT NYC 2025. What makes this perspective so valuable, I think, is that it comes from deep experience, like 6 years working in the adult industry, plus 5 years right in the thick of the blockchain space. And the paper really stresses this isn't about listing problems. It's about spotting untapped potential. It's about the innovation waiting to happen. Moving way past that, simple idea that this is all just about selling sexy JPEGs. It's much more than that.
That's such a key point, isn't it? Because Pollyanny's argument, the one we're exploring, is that this industry, it's always been kind of a stealth adopter of new tech. And with Web3, it's not just like a tech upgrade. It feels more like a cultural shift, too. We're talking big changes in content ownership, protecting creative work, building real community trust, and finding totally new ways for people to earn a sustainable living. Okay, let's really dig into this first piece then, because the heart of this industry, really, it's the independent creators. These are folks facing just immense, unique hurdles. You've got constant censorship battles, content getting pulled down, plus they're juggling everything themselves, marketing, money, building a community, usually with zero institutional backup. A lot.
It absolutely is. And this is exactly where NFTs come in. They offer these powerful new tools for autonomy, for expression, for making real lasting connections. It lets creators build an actual legacy for their work, moving beyond just, one-off sales or being totally reliant on subscription sites that can be pretty unpredictable. Think of it like building a permanent, verifiable library of your work that people can collect, share, and remember.
Pollyanny shares this really personal story that hits this home. She talks about going from the old model, getting paid a flat fee, but having like zero rights to her own photos afterwards, to now working collaboratively with photographers where she gets a share of the photos and the rights to use them. And she emphasizes how that ownership, that long-term access is way more valuable. It turns, in her words, one-time jobs into long-term relationships, art into interaction, moments into value. That's a huge shift.
It's a total game changer for control, yeah. And we're seeing specific uses pop up fast for creators, like content ownership, right? Minting scenes, photo sets, even audio clips as NFTs they sell directly. Full control over the price, over resale, or unlockable bundles. You gain access to, say, special content sets, maybe behind-the-scenes stuff, or collector perks like custom music playlists. And crucially, royalties. This is huge. Passive income that automatically flows back to the creator whenever their NFT gets resold. That's all handled by the smart contract. Instead of just subscriptions, you can have subscription token alternatives. Fans hold an NFT for lifetime access, maybe peered access, no more chasing expired credit cards or payment processor drama. Plus, it helps with reputation building. You get this on-chain visibility, like a public, verifiable CV of your work and collaborations, right there on the blockchain, independent of any platform's changing rules. And, for fans who want discretion. Private or hidden collectibles, let them own things without shouting about it.
Okay, so pulling that all together, what we're saying is NFTs let creators stop just like renting space on someone else's platform and start truly owning their online presence, their income, and those direct fan relationships. It really is about taking back control.
Exactly. And building right on that ownership idea, NFTs are also shaking up how content gets consumed. Let's start with camming. The real magic there is that live connection, right? That real-time interaction.
Right.
But usually once the stream ends, poof, all that connection, all that value, it just kind of evaporates.
But imagine, capturing those moments, making them last. Like, creators could mint fan loyalty NFTs, give them to top supporters, unlocking perks, maybe discounts, or even some private one-on-one time. Or NFT-based session tokens. These could be like time-limited, non-transferable passes for private shows or group sessions. And this is really fascinating, collectible private sessions. You could mint an intimate one-on-one show as an NFT, maybe with rewatch rights just for that fan, a truly unique digital souvenir. Models could even mint stream highlights themselves, authenticated clips right on the blockchain. That's a direct way to fight piracy by offering an official ownable version.
Right. Now let's shift gears a bit to the traditional clip sites and subscription platforms. The way they mostly work now is about access, not ownership. You pay to view. maybe for a while, but you don't actually keep anything, which, fundamentally limits what fans can do. And maybe, kind of counterintuitively, it could even push people towards piracy because there's no good official way for real fans to collect or treasure their favorite stuff.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for the fan side then, because NFTs set up this whole framework where content can be owned, maybe resold, rewarded, collected, and it's all done with the creators okay. That feels like a much more meaningful, trust-based way forward compared to how things are now.
Precisely. Fans get into collectible clip ownership. They permanently own that piece of content as an NFT. That's a way higher commitment, a different kind of purchase than just streaming. And if the creator allows it, you have optional resale with royalties. So the creator keeps earning every time it changes hands. We're also starting to see things like fan-curated libraries, supporters organizing their collections, maybe by performer or genre. That opens up totally new ways for people to discover content. And this isn't just theory. We see it happening. Wink uses these access keys buy once for lifetime access, and you can resell them. Fantasy Digital has their Diamond NFT, giving access to stuff from all their creators. MintStars was one of the first big ones, doing resellable adult content. And SpankChain Pop Shots bundle collectible art with full video.
So it's clear this isn't about, throwing out the old ways entirely. It's about enhancing them, right? Creating this kind of hybrid model.
Yeah.
New income streams, deeper fan connections. Makes sense.
And it doesn't stop at digital content either. NFTs are adding this whole new layer of depth and longevity to physical things like adult toys, merchandise. Normally you buy it and that's kind of it. It just sits there. But Web3 can really change that whole post-purchase life.
Yeah, that's a cool evolution for physical items. Imagine digital twins. Every toy comes with its own unique NFT. And that NFT could be its proof of authenticity, maybe a digital warranty card, or even unlock access to virtual experiences, kind of like those phygital things in fashion. Or these toy-linked NFTs could unlock exclusive content, maybe special videos, some erotic fiction, unique playlists. That's a whole other dimension. And for, say, handmade or limited edition stuff, NFTs can really highlight the rarity in storytelling, showcasing where it came from, the materials, turns it into a real collectible with proven history.
And then you've got expos, trade shows, events. These are complex places, right? Vendors, performers, educators, fans, lots going on. NFTs can actually make participating better and help people hold on to memories from these events without compromising their privacy.
Yeah, some of these applications are genuinely surprising. Think about NFT tickets and digital receipts. Instead of a flimsy badge, you get an on-chain pass. It proves you were there, and if allowed, it makes reselling tickets way more transparent and trackable. And PUAP's proof of attendance protocol, those little commemorative NFTs you get for attending a panel or seeing a performance, often they have perks baked in, like discount codes or access to something later. It's like a digital swag bag, but verifiable. You were there. You could even do scavenger hunts or gamified maps at events, interact with booths, earn NFTs, unlock prizes. Polyani actually tried this back in 2021, sending commemorative NFTs to people at Exotica, sparked some really interesting chats about digital keepsakes and value.
And we could briefly mention the potential in, say, strip clubs or adult nightlife, maybe VIP membership NFTs, or using crypto payments to get around those awful banking blockades. Even for dungeons, kink spaces, IRL play, things like consent and etiquette NFTs maybe, verifiable safety training, or session tokens as private mementos. Always with a huge focus on privacy and trust, of course.
Okay, so switching gears a bit. What about the backbone? The stuff that makes the industry run but isn't always visible? How do NFTs and Web3 tackle those really deep systemic problems, like the financial discrimination that's just plagued this industry forever?
Yeah, this is fundamental for stability. For management and agents, NFTs and smart contracts can seriously streamline things, automating how revenue gets split, verifying content rights without question.
Right. Imagine smart contract revenue splits. Money just flows automatically between collaborators when the conditions are met, right on the blockchain. Less arguments, faster payments. Or on-chain credits and portfolios. Time-stamped, solid proof of who did what work. Builds a verifiable track record, even reputation tracking via wallet history. You can build credibility based on your actual on-chain actions, not just who you know.
And that massive problem, financial discrimination.
Yeah.
Debanking. Banks, payment processors just pulling the plug without warning. It's a constant threat. Blockchain tools offer real censorship-resistant alternatives here.
This is where things like NFT receipts are powerful. Verifiable on-chain proof you paid or got paid. Great for taxes, accounting, can't be easily deleted or denied by a third party. And self-sovereign identity tokens, those soul-bound ones we mentioned, prove your age or identity once, use it across different compliant platforms. That could massively simplify things. And maybe the biggest one, crypto payments without intermediaries. just lets businesses and creators actually receive their earnings without worrying about a bank suddenly deciding they don't like the industry.
And tied into all this is privacy. Identity, pseudonymity, and privacy tools are just non-negotiable, especially with all the new age verification laws popping up. These tools are absolutely critical for keeping people safe and letting them control their public persona.
So key tools, there would be things like the soul-bound verification tokens, right? That non-transferable proof of age or consent you can show without revealing everything, and on-chain pseudonyms, letting creators keep their brand identity in Web3 totally separate and secure from their real-world life.
And we absolutely have to mention the crucial role of advocacy, mutual aid, and sex worker community networks. These are the support systems, the lifelines.
Yeah. And NFTs can directly help them too. Think about supporter NFTs for fundraising drives, maybe for legal defense funds or mental health resources. Token-based access could create secure, private online spaces for community discussions or safety alerts. And DAO coordination using decentralized autonomous organizations lets communities collectively manage funds or vote on initiatives. Groups like Pineapple Support, the Free Speech Coalition, FSC, SpankChain, they're already exploring this space.
And finally, just touching on health, safety, and testing protocols. Blockchain offers immutable, verifiable records here, which is huge for ethical production.
So you could have like on-chain test verification, tamper-proof STI results only visible to verified partners when needed, or set and studio certification, NFTs that publicly show a studio meets certain health standards, builds incredible trust and transparency.
Okay, let's look ahead a bit now to some really cutting-edge areas.
Yeah.
Like NSFW, gaming, and interactive worlds. Web3 is making these spaces genuinely immersive, truly creator-driven, and monetized in ways that just weren't possible before.
Yeah, it's amazing how NFTs plug into these experiences. Players can actually own, trade, display in-game NFTs, virtual items, characters, real digital property in these worlds. Specific NFTs could unlock token-gated access. Think restricted areas, special levels, unique experiences only for holders. And metaverse intimacy, full adult experiences in VR or 3D spaces, becoming much more interactive and nuanced. We're seeing examples already. Fantasy Digital had that adult NFT gallery in Decentraland using Polygon NFTs for premium access. Pleasure Network Pleasureland uses their NSFW token for private rooms, interactive dolls. DOLZ.io is doing NFT trading cards, AI avatar twins, even VR stuff. It's moving fast.
And beyond games, think about media, art, and adult journalism. How creators document the culture, preserve important work against censorship, and fund new projects. NFTs offer powerful tools here, too.
Like uncensorable publishing. Imagine minting essays, interviews, whole magazines as NFTs. That content becomes permanent, resistant to takedowns. Or crowdfunded films and docuseries. Using NFTs to raise money directly from the community for erotic films or educational projects. Again, real examples. Treat DAO Magazine, a decentralized adult publication. And SpankChain's SpankScene, which they specifically sold to raise money for the Free Speech Coalition. Using the tech for advocacy.
And finally, one area with huge potential. Cross-industry collaborations. NFTs and blockchain just make it so much easier to connect across different genres, platforms, communities, both inside and outside the adult world.
Yeah, imagine co-minted NFTs with shared ownership between, say, an adult performer and a mainstream musician, or hybrid content drops mixing different art forms, collaborative funding for bigger multimedia projects. These kinds of crossovers expand everyone's reach, and importantly, they help kind of normalize and integrate the adult industry into the wider creative and tech scenes. Hashtag, tag, outro bug.
So just to bring it back to Polyany's core point, this isn't about hype, It's really about possibility. It's about planting seeds for what the future could grow into, often in really unexpected ways.
So what does all this actually mean for you listening? Well, digging into how NFTs and Web3 are changing the adult industry, it gives you this really powerful lens, a lens to understand much bigger trends happening everywhere online. Trends around digital rights, what true ownership looks like, personal privacy. Because this industry, often out of sheer necessity, has repeatedly been right at the forefront of adopting new tech. And what they're building, what they're trying out now. It gives us this unique, maybe surprising preview of how these digital tools could end up influencing values, communities, and systems across all kinds of sectors. Not just this one.
Indeed. What's really fascinating is seeing how this push, often driven by just a fundamental need for autonomy and real connection, is actively shaping what the digital future might look like for all of us. It really shows that what comes next is ours to imagine, build, and claim. It highlights how these movements can potentially create a more equitable, more self-directed digital world.
Absolutely. It definitely leaves you with a fresh perspective, doesn't it? It's a complex space evolving super fast, but it shows just how much deep potential is packed into these technologies. Really fascinating stuff.